experimentation, ideation combined with organizational empathy is still useless unless converted into a manifest solution, a real thing. And that's where a lot of organizations fail. They don't actually end up realizing their ideas. And that's called innovation theater. And the reason why that happens, there are many, but one of the primal reasons that happens is because of a quality that you all possess as captains of industry, as leaders. A quality that is highly admirable on an individual level, but devastating for a modern organization. And that quality is called perfectionism. See, somewhere for most of us around our teenage years, when we start going to high school, something dramatic happens. We're immersed in the doctrine of perfectionism. We are told that the key to success is always in preparing very carefully, studying hard, trying to avoid risk and failure. We're led to believe that the key for a professional successful life is predicated on our ability to remove as much risk from the equation as we can before executing. Otherwise, don't begin. Avoid failure. But before we get to that stage in our teenage years, we apply a very different doctrine. Oh, not that one. Everyone all right? We apply a very different doctrine when we're young. We apply the doctrine of experimentation, except when we're young, nobody calls it the doctrine of experimentation. We call it play. Exactly, we call it play. It's not something we think about, it's just our natural state of being until it is extracted and replaced by the doctrine of perfectionism. And yet, it is trivially easy to demonstrate that throughout history, experimentation and ideation lies at the root of some of the greatest inventions. That's been true for thousands of years. I just want to pick out a few contemporary ones that I think illustrate the point quite well. The first one is this one. That is a placemat. I don't know how well you can see it. It's a placemat on a lunch table. And it's a lunch that took place in 1994 in California. It was a director and 3 writers of the animation studio called Pixar. You probably all know Pixar. Anyone who's ever been around a kid knows Pixar. And over that lunch, all they did was start sketching out rudimentary ideas on a table placemat. Does anyone recognize any of the movies that came out of that? Anyone? I can't hear you, but there you go. It led actually to 4 films. Monsters, Inc., WALL-E, A Bug's Life, and another one that I missed. And Finding Nemo. Dora was there as well, thank you. She was found before, after Nemo got lost. So, and those 4 movies collectively grossed over $1 billion at the box office, all because of some sketches on a placemat over lunch. This hideous-looking thing is Sony's first ever commercially released product. It was a rice cooker. It was a horrible, smelly wooden thing that burned most of the rice, but they put it out anyway. And in the process, they launched one of the greatest electronics companies in the history of the world.